Alright, we got it all put back together. Just kidding, y'all. This is a 461. Yeah, I'm doing some work too. I just wanted to show y'all this. That's the main reason over here. Dino Joe sent me this a while back. It's a digital timing wheel essentially. It's pretty cool, I have to say. I use it to degree this thing. Works pretty good. I actually use it to degree the 462 also. But I got a weird number. And so I pulled it off and put a regular wheel on, and sure enough it was spot on. Even checking it with a regular wheel, so what nothing to do with it, so I just threw it on this one since I already had the wheel on the 462 and retimed it and checked everything. But alright, enough about this one. Saying about that. Got some pistons. Nick at Redbeard Sauce said he had a couple pistons he could let go of. This one's used really nice. And this one was a test piston. It was also nice, but as you can see they ground over the transfers to change the transfer timing before grinding the jug while I was getting the recipe right. So that either one would work fine. I'm gonna use the one that hadn't been ground since I got it, but that one would run fine too, honestly, I'm sure. Here it is, the wheel mounted on it. There's the cylinder. I haven't done anything but clean the carbon out of the exhaust yet. I haven't really moved any metal out of it. Just knocked the black out. No other grinding yet, as you can see. Just been machined and test fit and timed. Here is what it timed at. 105 exhaust, 125 transfers, so 20 degrees of blowdown, and 90 degrees on the intake, so 180 degrees duration, which is the number I was talking about that I was questioning off of that other that digital timing wheel. Now I put this one on and it was the same thing. So this thing has a ton of intake duration. I don't know if it's gonna like it, but we're gonna find out. I'm actually gonna leave everything right where it is. I'm gonna leave it 105, 125, 90. I'm gonna reshape the ports how I want them, widen the exhaust, and not gonna be using a lower ring on this piston. As you can see where it pins would be right at the exhaust. The top ring pins center intake. Perfect. So that's what we're gonna do with that. I'm getting ready to start grinding this thing, and I will probably have it ground and exhaust polished and maybe even cleaned up and ready to install tonight, but we'll see how that goes. Also, while I was waiting on these parts in, this stuff was boring. I didn't record it, but I patched the holes up in the muffler. As you can see, it didn't go that great, but it's sealed up. I'll grind that out a little bit, make it look a little better, but this stuff holes just blew through it. I am gonna come in here and take this baffle out too. Probably gonna put it in the milling machine and just mill that out. And then I'm gonna open the original hole up here to about the size of that screen opening actually. I think that's all I'm gonna do as far as muffler mod on this, because when the saw's all together, there's really nothing that you can modify otherwise except for the cover. And I really don't want to modify the cover, but I might actually come in here and slit this or something and try to neatly put a gill in it or something like that. And maybe even this side or the bottom also. I don't know, we'll see. I did get that dent out of this thing. Can't even hardly tell. But what I end up having, this muffler is really tweaked and bent as I started messing with it. But I did end up winning the battle, I think. Pretty much, anyway. I think it'll work. There's a lot of messing around. But I think I won. We'll find out when I go put it on the saw. Anyway, you can see the rest of the stuff still right where it was. Haven't done anything to it. But I think I got all my new parts that I gotta go get one thing from the Stihl shop that they got in stock. But other than that, I'll probably have this thing together this week and running, barring I don't need anything that I'm not seeing here. So, alright, well, I'm gonna grind on this cylinder some and I'll bring it back when I get it done and show you. Alright, here it is all roughed in. Didn't move the timing on anything. See, the intake's completely untouched. I did shape the transfers a little. I did run a burr through it. Had a big old seam down the side. Well, that's all I did. I didn't move it or anything. As you can see, it's still got the factory edge on it. Exhaust I widened. Now I'm gonna go in and clean everything up, deburr it, get all the edges, and get all them ugly spots out of it. See there? I'm just gonna go in and dig into those and just get them lower than the plating, and that top one's not a problem. It'll probably come out with just when I'm chamfering the port. I don't think I see any more of it. If it doesn't, I'll run the ball up it a little bit, and that'll be it. Then I'm gonna start cleaning it up, getting all these edges, breaking all the edges and stuff, and then I'll turn the camera back on whenever I got it cleaned up, ready to go on the saw. Here's my bench. By the way, it's a mess, but this is kind of the way I do things. I got one Fordham sitting there that needs a new cable, and the new cable right behind it in typical fashion. My other one, and these are the pedals that run my love this setup. And then there's a bunch of other random garbage laying everywhere. A little holder for stuff to be kind of sort of somewhat organized, but not really. Anyway, y'all might want to see that. The rest of the saws here and there and there. I did clean the rest of the parts up today. Got everything cleaned up. Cleaned up pretty good. Here's one thing too that I never seen anybody mention. This saw was a basket case saw, so I went through today and God bless the internet. I went through this book, or through this manual I printed off, and looked at all the IPLs, and Stihl lists all their bolt sizes, and unlike Husky, it would be nice if they did, but they actually list all the sizes on them. So I went through and wrote down all the sizes for the hardware. This isn't all of it, but this is most of it. Just the stuff that I knew was off of the saw when I got it. Some of the stuff I knew was there, but I just went through and wrote it all down, and I just went through and inventoried all my hardware, and what I didn't have, I looked through my stuff, and I found most of it. I think I have something that will work for this one as well, but really the only ones that I don't have currently, could come up with, was the 4 for the handle, because they are very long, self-tapping, those big self-tappers. So those are I had some self-tappers, they just weren't that long. Those are the only ones I don't have. So now tomorrow when I go to the Stihl shop to get a new brake flag, I can hopefully either buy some new ones, which is probably not likely, they probably don't have any, but I'm pretty good buddies with them, so they'll probably let me raid their junk and find what I need. If not, I'll just order the right stuff, and maybe Bellhopper will have some screws I can borrow from him, or have in the meantime. I think he's got a couple new Stihl sitting down there, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'll bring you back whenever I get done cleaning the cylinder up and show you what it's looking like before I put it together. Probably gonna put it together tomorrow. But you won't know when tomorrow is from this video anyway, because this will be well after all this is done. So anyway, y'all have a good one, and I'll see you back here shortly. Alright, here is the final product. I don't get too carried away on polishing the exhaust, because I don't think it's that necessary. It's just to keep carbon from building up, but you know, for those that think it is, feel free, polish away. I get it pretty good. That's about it. There's still some water staining on this from getting it out of the washer, but yeah, there it is. Next step will be going on the saw. I've been cleaning up the cases a little bit, been grinding a little bit, trying to clean some of that up, getting it ready. Other than that, I think I'm going to stop this video off here and be on to the next one whenever putting the saw together, when it's ready to assemble. Alright, you guys have a good one.